Okay, so I'm going to touch on a subject that I used to struggle with heavily, um, but I'm kind of learning how to minimize it. But it's something that I've noticed a lot of people have trouble with, and that is inadequacy. And the best way for me to put it is to tell you that you are enough. You're good enough. Say it. I am good enough. And the reason why I say that is because there is some type of mythological barometer that everyone seems to measure themselves by. I'm not good enough because such and such is doing better than me. Oh, I'm not good enough because my mom and dad said. Let me tell you something. This is why I'm so passionate about this. No one can tell you that you're not good enough. No one has that right. Not your mom, not your dad, not your brother, your sister, your spouse, not your coworker, not your boss. No one can tell you that you're not good enough. Now, I'm not saying you can't improve. I'm not saying that your situation can't get better, because it can. You can always do better. You can always find ways to improve and to elevate your mind and elevate your self-worth. But for you to feel beaten down and for you to feel like you're not good enough by some inherent immeasurable thing because such and such said this. Well, guess what? Your opinion matters about yourself just as much, if not more, than somebody else's opinion. If it doesn't build you up, it doesn't need to be in your life. Period. If it doesn't add value to you, then you don't need it. So stop beating yourself up. Stop worrying about what other people think. You don't have to be good enough for anybody. I promise you this. I would put everything I have on this. That as long as you are doing your best and you are giving it your all, then you are good enough. Because that's all anybody can ever do. If you are giving it 100%, then you don't have to compensate for anything to anybody. If you are doing what is right in this world, if you are doing what is right, and I don't mean just doing right for yourself. We are way too self-deceptive and make too many mistakes when we're selfishly ambitious. But if you are doing your best, it means you're taking care of your spouse, you're taking care of your kids, you're doing right by people, you try to help whenever you can, you're loving people unconditionally, guess what? You are good enough. Because what I have found all throughout my 36 years of being alive, the people who don't think they're good enough are usually the ones who are more than enough. They're the ones out there giving everything they got. They're the ones out there trying to make a difference. The ones who don't care if they're good enough usually are not the ones that are living up to their potential. They're not the ones giving their all. I don't mean the ones who are have passed this inadequacy feeling and really are contributing. I'm talking about the arrogant, pompous people who degrade other people. Those people, those are the ones I'm talking about. Those people aren't good enough. Because if they were, then they wouldn't be trying to tear anybody down. So if you can ever get anything out of life, anything out of anything, then remember, you are good enough. You don't have to measure yourself by other people's standards, by other people's expectations. We have one expectation to live by, and that's by God's. And that's it. Nobody else's opinion matters. Period. And if that can revolutionize your thinking, you can feel this peace rest on you that cannot be replaceable. If you can ever remove any character trait, any flaw, it would be to focus on measuring your backstage practice to someone's theatrical presentation. Meaning the stuff that goes on behind the scenes that no one knows about, don't compare that to what you see out there in the world. Because oftentimes that person's battling the same thing. You are good enough, and you can be better. But that doesn't mean you're not enough right now. If you're giving it your all, then that is good enough. I hope you have a wonderful day.